Okay, this video is on two-step equations. Last video was on one-step equations. So this is now two steps. So this is the next level, okay? What you'll notice is that if I do this and go number, letter, number, number, you'll notice that there is two numbers on the side of the letter. And what I want to end up with is I want to end up with a letter equals a number. Once I've got a letter, in this case A, equaling a number, which I don't know yet because I haven't solved it, that is called solving the equation. So if I get the correct number, I've solved it correctly. There's two numbers to move to this side because I always want letters on one side, numbers on the other. So the first thing to do is to move one of the numbers. So there's two here. I can either move the 9 or the 8. And there is a correct answer to which one you move first. So to help us with that, what we're going to do is we're going to use BEDMAS. Brackets, exponents, division, multiplication, addition, subtraction. You'll notice that the division and multiplication are in the same box because it doesn't matter which one you do first because they are the opposite to each other. The same with the addition and subtraction. It doesn't matter which one you do first, they are the opposite, so there is no preference. Okay? But what you're going to do is you're going to work the opposite way to BEDMAS, and I'll make a BEDMAS video so you can watch it and it'll explain why we work the opposite way to solve. So, if I look at BEDMAS, there's no subtraction, so I'm not going to use that. So the next one I'm looking for is there an addition? Yes, but plus 8 or adding 8. What's the opposite to adding 8? Because I want to remove it from this side and move it across, and when it moves, you'll see that it becomes the opposite. So to move it, I'm going to use minus 8 because subtraction is the opposite to addition. What I do to one side, I must do to the other. So I take away 8. This ends up being 9a equals 63. Still I've got number, letter on one side. And what I want is I want a letter on one side and a number on the other. So, there is another step because there is another, well, there's one more step because there's one more number with the letter. So this is 9 times a equals 63. Opposite to times 9 is divide by 9. What I do to one side I must do to the other. Divide by 9. So 63 divided by 9 equals 7. So my answer is 7. If I go to check that, I go 9 times 7 is 63. Plus 8 is 71. Okay, that's it. For this one over here, I've still got BEDMAS written here. Subtraction, addition, multiplication, division, exponents and brackets. I work that way. So I'm working the opposite way to BEDMAS. In this case, bottom to top instead of top to bottom. If you're not sure, have a look. Okay, now, I've got letter, number, number on one side. What I want to end up with is I want to end up with a letter on one side equaling the correct number on the other side. There are two numbers on this side. This is why it's a two-step equation. What I want to work out first of all is which one do I want to move? The negative or the subtract 6 or the divide by 7. If I use BEDMAS to help me, I'll see that subtraction when working from bottom to top is first. So I'm going to do that. The other way that you can remember it, but it's not great, is whatever number is by itself is what you move first. So in this case, the minus 6 is by itself, so I'm going to move that first. I'm going to do it using my arrows. So drawing my arrows. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is the opposite to minus 6, plus 6. So let me write in plus 6 there and plus 6 here. Then I've got b divided by 7 equals, well, 14 plus 6 is 20. Not done. Why? because there's still a number on this side mixed in with the letter, so I need to remove that. So there's another step. Okay, this is divide b divided by 7. So what I want to be doing is the opposite to divide, which is times. So b divided by 7 times 7 gives me b. 20 times 7 should, and does, give me 140. Let's check that. 140 divided by 7, 20. Take away 6, 14. I know that this is correct. Coming back down here, okay? So if I write in bed mass for this one, and I'll just write it over here so it's a little bit clearer. Fingers crossed, you know that addition and subtraction are together, division and multiplying, and that we work this way. Okay, so this time, this is where it gets a little bit complicated because there's something not clear on this, and it's just one of those funny things that they've done in maths. And what you've got to do is you've got to read it like this. This is c plus 5, then you divide by 4, okay? Equals 9. So this is c plus 5, then divide by 4, equals 9. So what this means is that there is something called, because of the way it's written, in bed mass it says c plus 5, then divide by 4. Now here's your divide by, and what it's telling me to do first of all is it's telling me to take c and add 5. So what that means is it's implying there are brackets. So the trick to this is that you draw brackets around this, because as you'd say it'd be c plus 5, that whole thing divided by 4. When I talked about this earlier, you'd have heard me saying move the number that's by itself first. So that also helps you here, okay? So because there is an implied brackets, what I'm going to do first of all is I'm going to do my divide by first. So, and what you should always do if it looks like this, you put brackets around here first. Or just move the number first, whatever's by itself first. So in this case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to work backwards, so I'm going to work up through bed mass, from bottom to top. The first thing, well, I don't have a subtract, so I'm not going to use that. My addition is in brackets now, so I'm not going to use that. There is no multiply, but there is a divide. That's first. So I'm dividing by 4 here, so I'm going to do the opposite to divide, and that's times by 4. What I do to one side, I must do to the other, 4. So now, this ends up being c plus 5 equals 9 times 4, which is 36. Okay? So, now this isn't completed because there's still a letter and a number, and what I want is I want c equals a number. So there is one more step to do. So we've done one step, let's do our second step because it's a 2-step equation. So now this is plus 5. What's the opposite to plus 5? Negative 5 or minus 5. So now c equals 36, take away 5, c equals 31. Okay, now if you want to double check this, you put it back into the equation. 31 plus 5 is 36, divided by 4 equals 9, that must be correct. Last one on the 2-step. It's 2 steps because there's 2 numbers with a letter. What I want is I want t equals a number. Don't know what that number is yet. So let's draw our arrows. And I'm going to write bed mass because I want to be able to work out which one I'm going to do first. On here, this means t divided by 6, and then you add 7 to it. Okay? So there is no brackets here because you go t divided by 6 plus 7. Okay? And the reason why there's no brackets is that if we follow BEDMAS, you'll see that divide by comes before addition. If that's confusing you, just move whatever numbers by itself. And I have done a BEDMAS video, so have a look at that. What we're going to do is we're going to work the opposite way to BEDMAS. Brackets, exponents, division and multiplication together, addition and subtraction together. We're going to work the opposite way. So now this becomes, what do I need to do first actually? What I need to do is I need to use working the opposite way to BEDMAS to work it out. In this case, there is no subtraction, so I'm going to get rid of that, but there is an addition here that's not in brackets. So that's what I'm going to remove first. I'm going to remove add 7, and we'll take away 7. What I do to one side, I must do to the other. This now becomes t. That's not t, that's a 6. T over 6 equals, 14 take away 7 gives me 7. What I'm after is I'm just after t equals a number. So I need to do that. Here, to get rid of divide by 6, I must times by 6. Times by 6. What I did to one side, I must do to the other, times by 6. In this case, t equals 7 times 6, which should equal 42. Again, if I want to check that, I put 42 back in as t. 42 divided by 6 is 7, add 7, 14, happy days, done.